Konnichiwa, hello and welcome. This is Roy at Ninja98, and today I will be reviewing a really cool, super awesome figure, and that is the S.H.MonsterArts Godzilla vs. Kong MechaGodzilla 2021 figure, and I got some things to say about it. So, with that said, let's get things started. And now, here we have the S.H.MonsterArts Godzilla vs. Kong MechaGodzilla 2021 figure right here before us in all of his evil mecha kaiju glory. As you can see, this is a well-detailed, well-sculpted, highly articulated figure sculpted by the world-famous S.H.MonsterArts sculptor himself, the man, the myth, the legend. We all know him by name by now, Yuji Sakai, of course. This figure's color scheme is mainly gunmetal silver, except for his eyes, which are like a crimson blood red color. But other than that, this figure is mostly gunmetal silver. Although I did have a mishap with this one while out of the box when I first got him. One of the reasons why I will never deal with Kokomo toys again. Because, yeah, they said, oh, this was the only one they had in stock, and they couldn't give me a refund or a reimbursement. They just gave me a bunch of excuses, and I was stuck with this one. But I still forgave it, you know, for that mishap, regardless, because I still think this is a really cool figure, and it would be a shame to send it back, and that's why I didn't send it back. I could have sent it back to get a refund, but I just decided to keep it because I didn't want it to get lost in the mail. As you can see, the hip pistons on mine broke, but yeah, I you know what I said? You know what? I'm just gonna keep it. There is like a new like I forgot what it's called, but it's a new like recolorization of the S.H.MonsterArts MechaGodzilla 2021 that Tamashii Nations is going to be putting out soon. So I'm probably gonna check on that one sooner or later. But anyway, I will be going over this figure in detail and articulation, starting with the upper body portion of the figure, working my way down to the lower body portion of the figure, and then getting a more fuller in-depth view of the figure, and getting in depth with his accessories, which are interchangeable hands. So let's get started. And now, starting things off with the upper body portion of the figure, as you can see, we can get a closer look at what he looks like from a close-up view. As you can see, we can see more of those crimson blood red eyes of his. We can see that very Terminator-inspired MechaGodzilla head of his as well. And we can see his shoulder armor as well. So this one does have some armored shoulder guards, and they do pop open if I can get them open. Alright, come on. Probably shouldn't have cut my nails. I'm trying to get it open for you guys. So just give me a second as I finagle with this. As you can see, I got one open, and let me see if I can get the other open. Okay, now we have him. He has some missile launchers. He has some like rocket launchers in his shoulder guards there. So yeah, we already have some deadly weaponry going on with this MechaGodzilla here. And also, we do have some missile launchers in his belly area as well. So we can fold those out, and we can have some little bitty rockets. So, well, actually bigger rockets firing at you out of the rocket launchers in his belly. So we can fold those back in, and of course we can fold these back in as well. So we're gonna just press them down. So that is some cool little flippable guns there that he has. And of course, we do have a good articulation in the head. The head can look up about that much. We can look down about that much. Not a whole lot, but we can look down. We can look right. We can look left, and we can turn the head about that much independently from the neck. So we can go about, yeah, we can do a full 360. We just got to be careful. And of course, turning him around, getting a look at those dorsal spines. As you can see, the dorsal spines, I would say, are a little bit more similar to the dorsal spines you see on the 2014 Godzilla. Because although like these look more like man-made and less natural than Godzilla's naturally grown dorsal spines. Because, yeah, of course, MechaGodzilla is going to be man-made. This MechaGodzilla was built using some of the remains from the defeated King Ghidorah from the previous movie. Very similar to how the Heisei MechaGodzilla, or the 1993 MechaGodzilla, or aka MechaGodzilla 2, was built using the remains of the Mecha King Ghidorah from the people from the future. I forgot their names, but I know they were like time travelers from the future. If you watch Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, the Heisei movie. And speaking of Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to get my hands on those Hiya Toys figures coming pretty soon. Especially that 1991 Hiya Toys Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah 1991 and the Hiya Toys King Ghidorah 1991, especially the Mecha King Ghidorah. But anyway, getting more in depth with some more detail, we do have a hinge in the jaw, so we can open that mouth up about that much, and we can see all the finer details inside of that mouth there. We can see all those metal chompers that the MechaGodzilla 2021 has. We can see he even has a metal tongue. Look at that. Thick metal tongue. So yeah, can lose it. And also, we do have some good butterfly hinges in the shoulders as well, so we can move those arms forward and back like so. We also have a swivel in the shoulders as well, so we can swivel those shoulders all the way around a full 360. We also have a hinge joint in the shoulder as well, so we can bring the shoulders out about that much, and we can bend the elbows forward in a T-pose like so, and then bring them back down. Now we only have a single joint in the elbows due to the sculpt, so we only have like one bend in the elbows. We usually have two, but we only have one bend. The wrists are on a ball joint swivel, so we can rock the hands forward and back and swivel them all the way around a full 360. Same is true with the other hand. We can rock them forward and back and swivel them a full 360. And he just fell, but I picked him back up. But anyway, while we are at the upper body portion of the figure, I just as well get into his accessories now, because he comes with two interchangeable pieces. We have his interchangeable hand claws here, so we can definitely change that out if we want to. So basically how you do this, you just simply and yeah, you can change out the claws too, but I'm just gonna take the claws out. So you just simply pop this off the ball joint here. So let me put these claw pieces back in. So all you do is that, and yeah, easy peasy. And you just pop the other one right on in there, and you just do the same thing with the other hand. So it's not hard at all. So there you have it with his closed finger hands. And of course, if you want to, and he's falling over again. You could take one out, and you could even mix match them if you want to. So take AI one of these off of here, and we can sort of do that. So we can mix match those claws as well if we want to. So we can do that, and also, oh boy, trying to get it. I'm gonna get it fixed on there. I'm gonna show you guys. I'm getting them all, put them in focus. So yeah, getting all out of focus here. But anyway, yeah, sometimes I do get a bit out of focus trying to finagle with all of this. So yeah, as you can see, we can even mix match the fingers, so we can have 2 fingers at the bottom that's bent, and we can have 2 fingers and on the outside that is open. So we can do that if we want to. So yeah, same here as you were seeing. So yeah, we do have some, good interchangeable hands with this figure. So you can change out both the fingers and the claws. But I think it would have been better if we would have just had like a hinge in the middle of the hand, to where we could just change out the claws. But then I don't think we'd have that ball joint articulation. So that's why. Now we don't have any waist articulation. So we don't have an ab crunch. We don't have a ball joint in the waist or anything. The torso is just one solid piece on this one. But we do get some die cast in this figure in the feet, so that is a definite plus. But anyway, that pretty much concludes it for the upper body portion of the figure. Now I will be getting into the lower body portion of the figure and going over detail and articulation with the hips and the legs and the knees and the feet and all that good stuff. So let's get to it. And now taking a look at the lower body portion of the figure, as I already mentioned at the beginning of the video, mine the hip pistons are broken on mine. So yeah, I don't have any hip pistons on mine, but like I said, there's a reason for that. I had a mishap with this figure out of the box, but one of the reasons why I'll never deal with Kokomo toys again. Like I said, I kind of got screwed over at that point. But anyway, as you can see, I still do have the hip piston bars. They're still in there. I can easily take them out, but I'm just not going to. All I got to do is just pop them out a little bitty ball joint and just remove them. But it is what it is. But anyway, we do have some thigh guards there in the hips, so you can see we do have some armor on the top of the thighs there. Same is true with the other side. So we do have, this MechaGodzilla is heavily armored. We even have armored kneecaps there, looking really nice. His whole body is basically armored, so what you expect? It's MechaGodzilla. But anyway, we do have good hip articulation, well, leg articulation anyway, starting with the hips. We do have a swivel in the hips, so we do have a swivel hinge in the hips, so we can kick forward about this much and then back about that much. Same is true with the other leg, so forward about that much and then back down. We can split out like that, about that much, not a whole lot, and then back in. So we can't really do a full 360 rotation because it's hindered by the sculpt. We can only move it so much, and that's it. But anyway, we do have a double joint hinge in the knees, so we can bend we do have a double joint hinge, so we can bend the knees back about that much and then forward again. And also, we do have some pistons in the back of the knees, so we do have kind of like some hamstring pistons. So we do have that on both legs, so that's some good realistic detail that I appreciate. So at least I have some working pistons on this one. And also the feet are die cast as well, so this one does have some die cast metal feet as well. His toes look, like I said, kind of look like a skeleton toes. Like I said, it kind of looks like a Tyrannosaurus fossil. So there's that. Although, like, MechaGodzilla 3, aka Kuryu, is actually made from the bones from the original 1954 Godzilla. So, yeah, there is some. So, yeah, there is a MechaGodzilla made from a Godzilla skeleton. But anyway, these shin guards, I mean, yeah, these shin guards can, or ankle guards, whatever you want to call them, can move up. They are articulated. I don't. Well, I guess they're for like foot articulation. So if you want to bend the foot up a little bit more, you can. And also the back flaps on the back of his heels are on a hinge as well. So we do have that. So we get a good amount of articulation or articulated armor pieces on this figure. Excuse my yeah. I'm starting to stutter a bit, and I don't even have a stuttering problem. But anyway, we do have some good tail articulation. Tail articulation on this figure is some of the best tail articulation you will get on an S.H.MonsterArts figure, and this is one of the reasons why I decided just to keep this one, because tail articulation is top notch with this one. Look at this, how smooth this movement is, how fluid it is. This is definitely a top tier. I can't complain with the sheer amount of fluid tail articulation with this figure. Although, do be careful, because there have been some reports of people accidentally breaking their tails on theirs, so I would advise being careful. And of course, we do have some barbed tips on his tail as well. But yeah, the barbs are actually more of a softer, rubbery material, so they're not going to cut you or anything, so that's good. And like, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier in the video, but the way his tail is designed, it kind of looks like a Tyrannosaurus fossil, almost like dinosaur bones. So that is really cool. I like that. I like that a lot. They really did put a lot of work in craftsmanship into making this figure. That's one of the reasons why S.H.MonsterArts figures are so expensive, because of a lot of time, effort, and work that goes into making them. But yeah, I think they need to start putting a little bit more time and effort into quality control as well, because I do feel like these figures are starting to have way too many quality control issues to justify for the price, and that's a problem. But anyway, that pretty much concludes it for the lower body portion of the figure. So now let's get a little bit more of an in-depth, fuller view of the figure, shall we? And now getting a more fuller, in-depth look at the figure before I wrap it up with my final verdict. Just giving you guys a full 360 view of the figure, just to see more of what this one looks like, and just how amazingly crafted this figure is. Although, you know, mine had a mishap, I still appreciate this figure for what it is. I'm going to try to put this in a swimming pose, even though it's MechaGodzilla, to see how well you can actually articulate this figure. So I'm putting his arms back, put his head up like this, and put the tail like that. It actually works a lot better than what I originally thought. So that is a definite plus with this one. So let me put him back down. The only thing you don't get with this one is like a heat ray breath effect part, so like a laser beam, like this one would fire out of his mouth. But yeah, you unfortunately don't get that. I believe you're gonna get it with like the new updated version that they're about to release. That's kind of has like a slightly darker color scheme to it. That comes a few more accessories, so that would be definitely cool. But anyway, I still think this is a really awesome figure in the meantime, and I'm glad I got it when I did. Although, yeah, I kind of got screwed out of getting a refund, or at least a better figure. But I mean, I could have forgiven for that mishap. But anyway, I will now be getting into my final verdict, where I will be giving this figure a final score based on detail, articulation, and playability. So let's get to it. And now for my final verdict on the S.H.MonsterArts Godzilla vs. Kong MechaGodzilla 2021 figure here. If I have to give this one a final score based on detail, articulation, and playability, I have to give them a drum roll, please. A fair but square, well-deserved 4.5 stars. Why? I think this is a much appreciated figure. I do really appreciate this one. It has good quality detail, very movie accurate. Articulation is top notch. Playability is really good. It holds together very well. The only place I'm taking points off is obvious. Is where I had these broken hip pistons, and that is something you're taking a chance with when you get this figure out of the box, and a lot of people have reported broken hip pistons out of the box, so I'm not the only one. So that's something I feel like S.H.MonsterArts, BanDai Namco, and Tamashii Nations needs to work on with this figure, especially when they're putting out the new updated version. I hope to God that they resolve that issue. But anyway, that pretty much concludes it for this review. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it to this point in the video, your attention span is much appreciated. That helps out this channel a lot. And if you want to help out this channel even more, like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have friends interested in the same content, feel free to share this on your social media, your Facebook, your the slap.com, whatever social media site you use. And as always, love you all. Stay safe, take care, God bless, stay positive, stay powered up, and peace out.